one of the more interesting things that I really like about programming. So I've been doing it for like a little over a month now. Grant has been teaching me. Um, and I've gotten pretty good at it. Obviously, there's still like a lot of like weird shit I do, but I because of him, I developed a lot of like cool like good habits to have. But one thing that I really like that I'll realize and then do and then it'll fix everything is making, I mean, this is such a like obvious like, well, doy, that's how programming is, but just making things more in line with the concept of what I'm doing. So like, here's a weird example. So I was tired, I really wanted to like make, okay, one thing I suck at is like the names. These are horrible names, but just disregard that. um but like, I am tired. Grant was around today, and I wanted to practice just random code stuff. Right now, I'm learning DOM and AP, like the API stuff. But other than that, I've gotten pretty good at doing like just the code stuff, which is cool. Uh, so one of the things was I was having some bugs in this. So essentially, what this is I wanted to try and spread nested arrays. So an array is essentially like these bracket things, and they have like values here, like that. But then you can have one of the values be another array, which is called a nested array. And then you can even have it go further than that. And I wanted to try and make a function that basically would spread the array and like, which means like getting the numbers, I guess, or the values. And then if it's an array, if the value is an array, like spread that so that none of it's like nested. So I did that. Now I'm sure there's like some better ways you could do this, but I'm very tired. But what I did was I took, now I probably didn't have to spread it like this, but this is just sort of whatever. Um, so what I did was I actually, let me see real quick. Did I even have to do that? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. No, I didn't even have to do that. I don't know why I did that. Okay. Anyways, so what I did was I had I have a another variable rearray. Horrible name, whatever. This is just me doodling essentially, and it's an empty array. So initially, what I had was God, I suck at the terminology, but I know basically. So what this is doing right here, it's called a for of loop. So what it's doing is it goes for thing of nested array. And essentially what that's doing is thing is just, you could call this whatever. But it basically goes one by one of each value. So it goes in a loop. So essentially it'll go to 1, right? And so now 1 is what thing equals to. So then it checks if thing is an instance of an array. Now 1 isn't, it's just 1. So it can skip all this. And then we push thing into the rearray. And push just basically means you're putting it at the end of this array. So now this array equals 1. Or it has a value that is 1. If it is an instance of array, so this would be like nested array 2 because it goes 0, 1, 2. Then what it does is it does what I made it do is it does another for loop, but of the output of like this function again. So then it spreads the thing. So essentially what it's doing is if it's an instance, which means it's like in itself, do this also again. And the reason why I did that is because what it does is then it does a whole different instance of this function, right? And then it makes a rearray, it returns the rearray, so it makes this function essentially like equal the rearray, and then it pushes it goes through each thing of this because it's an array now and pushes the values. And the reason why I made it do a function again is because if that array has another array in it, it'll just inception this and like go through this. So here's the thing. Originally what I wrote it as is I did let I equals 0, well, I guess it was the nested length I plus plus. So this is another type of for loop. And here's what it's doing. So it creates a variable called I, and I think it's called I because it's like the index. So like these are like in an array, there's an index set to a value. So the index of 1 here is 0, and it counts up. So I equals 0, and then if I is less than nested array dot length, so whatever the length of the array is, then you do a bunch of code here, and then you add I, and then you do this again until I is like greater than or equal to the nested array length. The problem with this, I actually don't remember what the bug was. I don't even think I figured it out. But it made all this not work. And I was like, what the fuck? So then I thought about it, and I was like, well, I don't even need to do any of this. This is just like, this is hard to read. That's the main thing. I was like, this is hard to read. I don't really know what's going on. So I thought, okay, well, what conceptually am I actually doing here that I want to accomplish? I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going through each value in an array. I don't actually need to use I or anything. Like, this is really good for if you're trying to do something with I in some way, but I didn't need that. So I was like, okay, well, let's just do this. So I made it an of loop. It's easier to read, right? Which made it easier for me to code this part. Because what was happening was I also had this look like this sort of thing, except I had J, and it was just getting so weird to read, and I think the bugs in it had to do with like my eyes were just like glazing over it, and like it just wasn't really making any sense. But making it into this, and then another of loop just works. And I can read it perfectly fine, like, okay, we're going through each thing in this, and then we're going through each thing in this, and then I spruced it up. Like initially, I had a variable equal this, so it turned into an array. But then I thought, well, I could just have this. It makes it a little weirder to read, but I like it more. It just sort of feels good to make it more concise. And yeah. Now, the thing about this is I'm sure there's like some crazy ass things you could do to make this like run better. Like, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm doodling, but I just love how objective. I mean, obviously there's subjective points in programming, but I love how objective it is. Cause it's just, I mean, because when I was a kid, I used to love math. Like, love it. And this gives me that same feeling. Now, I hate math now, but like this gives me the same feeling. And yeah, it's really cool. That's essentially it. I Yeah. Also, here's something stupid I did the other day, with Grant. Well, I say with Grant, but it was more like he was watching me and going, "Yeah, you know." Now this is real shit. Okay. By real shit, I mean like it's shitty. Um, what I did was I essentially, so I wanted to like animate the page with like text and stuff. Let me hold on. Let me Oh, this is something I was testing too. But let me just do this and you can see what it is. You need to wait, why did it Huh. It saved this. That's weird. Okay, wait. Run. I think this. Yeah, so I wanted to like animate weird dumb like shit. This pink guy, oh, I forgot how to make him not like fucking blurry. Anyways, um that pink guy, I really want to make like a weird Yuminiki type game just to fuck around with. But anyways, um so I made my own API so that I can like animate text, right? And then, I have what I want it to say, and then the numbers are like milliseconds, and then reset and break mean different things, and then parent. Now, this is shit. This is completely shit. When you look at this, yeah, like if I were to see this and I didn't write the code, I'd be like, what is going on here? Like, why is it this and that? Like what does 300 represent? And I'd have to like go over here and look up here and like what the fuck's going on. But I was just doing it to fuck around, Like I would never actually put this somewhere. But it's just fun. It's just so fun. Programming is like way easier than okay, easy isn't the right word. It's it's really like I don't know. Like I know a lot now. Like way more than you should ever be able to learn in a month thanks to Grant. And I'm good at it, which is really exciting. Um but yeah, so right now, oh yeah, like we made like a weird API for math, and we we made, yeah, I have some cheat sheets, and then one of the fun things was uh trying to see where it is. There was like there was some stuff we made that oh dang, I can't really remember. Um but it was essentially like, I don't know, we've just been learning a lot. Well, I've been learning a lot. He's like awesome. It's been fun. Really excited because game making opens up like a whole new avenue of storytelling, and that's really exciting. Um, Especially because like I hate talking about this because I don't want to be like in Homestuck anymore, but like Kick Attack was just like fine for what it was, but I really want to make my own original shit because it's not that like I'm saying I'm like awesome or anything, but my original stuff is a lot better than the fucking Homestuck shit. So I'm excited. This all just makes, I mean, it's just so fun to do. And obviously, I'm not thinking like, oh, this will be really easy. It's just like, I used to think like programming was not what I can, like, what I should be doing. Um, yeah, that's it. All right. Bye.